Greetings, everyone. How are you? I hope all of you are doing well on this Wednesday, March 13th, 2024. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, everyone. I am Meaningful Intuitive Guided Tarot here. As you can see by the title, that this is going to be an update pertaining to the Princess of Wales, Princess Catherine, because I did do a reading on her, at least two readings recently, maybe about a month ago, pertaining to the whereabouts of the Princess of Wales. For those of you that, for the majority of us, we know what has been the situation surrounding Princess Kate, with thousands, millions of people all over the world wanting to know what has been going on, as there has been a lot of sinister signs that surrounds her. And so with that being said, I am speaking today what comes pertaining to the recent photos, images that came up with her. And for those that may not have seen it, or you have seen it, this was a photo that came out on the heels of Mother's Day. So the UK had their Mother's Day, obviously, just recently, about 3-4 days ago. And so when that photo came out, it was quote unquote a picture that showed the Princess of Wales along with her 3 children. It was said that Prince William took the photo, but the point is that, was that really Princess Catherine? Now, when it was investigated and when agencies got to really kind of see what is going on behind those photos, it was in fact said that the royal insiders cited that the digital manipulation did stir up because of the fact that they saw that it was digitally manipulated. All right. And so when that came out, and looking and seeing that that picture, particularly of Princess of Wales, but also looking at the children, that was certain things that just did not add up in that photo of them. And so, of course, it did raise concerns. And so with that being said, the British Press Photographer Association is urging the palace to release an unedited Kate Middleton photo. And so according to royal experts, they are citing that the consequences of Kensington Palace reluctance toward transparency could be disastrous, because they have not produced a legitimate, a substantial, and authentic photo of Princess of Wales. And so the longer that they take, then of course it is going to raise more eyebrows, but more suspiciously, it's really going to really continue, as we all have been wondering, the whereabouts. What is this mysterious, why is there such a mystery with her whereabouts? Why the palace not being transparent pertaining to her existence, right? And so with that being said, I am bringing this update from the last update when speaking about Princess of Wales. Now, for those that may not have seen that, by all means, you can scroll down to that video that I did perform a reading pertaining to her whereabouts, what might be going on, the status. And at that time, when I brought that, I believe it was in February, that I performed 2 readings pertaining to her. And at that time, I did not feel that she was unalived. I felt her spirit still with us. Fast forwarding to today, as of today, March 13th, do I feel that her spirit is still with us? Well, before I get started on that, I first and foremost want to, I already pre-cleansed this space between you and my audience, but I want to, again, take my sage and I want to just cleanse this space at this time so that the message here will be delivered without any type of interference. And because of what it is that I have seen by my tools, the cards, but more importantly, haven't had my spirit team to at this time to kind of allow my clairvoyance and my clear audience as well as my claircognizant abilities to allow me to be able to tune in and to have channeled Princess of Wales spirit at this time. So spirit, I ask that you please cleanse this space at this time to remove any type of energies as I am about to perform this reading. Thank you, spirit. All right. And my viewers as well. All right. So I want to give you guys a heads up because what I am about to speak upon, it will no doubt bring some type of emotional reaction. And I'm hoping that during the time of me speaking upon what it is I feel at this time, that I can deliver this message without getting teary-eyed, because I'm going to tell you now, this is a doozy. And I will be saying allegedly, because at the end of the day, none of what it is that I feel or sense is 100% factual. But there may be aspects of this forecast, this interpretation of what I feel. It might be some parts of it that will be factual. But like anything else, nothing is set in stone. I am solely going upon my intuitiveness pertaining to today's energy, pertaining and trying to have connected with the spirit of Princess of Wales. And so with that being said, everyone, let us proceed with a few things that I want to mention surrounding her, the events from the past, particularly when we was last aware of her existence back when she went in so-called for this abdominal surgery, which they say was planned. All right, so that happened back in January. So now fast forwarding to today, but still kind of just bringing some sort of clarity to the events leading up to where we are today. Let's speak about them. So the events surrounding Princess Catherine in the last year. So this is in the last year. So the last year of 2023 up until now. All right. And I will say, if we are in March, you can say from last March to April up until now, give or take, or from February of last year, right? We have all seen in some kind of way the circumstances, the expressions. We can see that there was some sort of unhappiness in the marriage, or her, I should say, her unhappiness to her marriage to Prince William. And so with that being said, you can say that in the eyes of the monarchy, it was something that they saw as a constant complaint of Princess of Wales. No doubt her speaking upon it, no doubt even wanting a divorce. Now, I also last year also did a reading about both her and Prince William, and what I felt that they were on the verge of a divorce. That at least I felt that she wanted it, and I did speak upon that. So you are more than welcome as well to kind of cruise down on my channel if you would like to see some of the things that I mentioned behind that and what I thought. So again, when it comes to the monarchy, I feel that Princess Catherine had always, in some kind of way, expressed her unhappiness with Prince William. And it kind of takes me back for a moment to that of the late Princess Diana, Prince William's mother, that when she was married to Prince Charles at that time, having gone to the Queen, having expressed her unhappiness and her just the whole type of how the marriage was not something that she was truly happy with, and that it needed some kind of solution, right? But when it comes around Princess Catherine, somehow there is a sense where she became very, very, to the monarchy that is, she became very like a nuisance to them. And avoiding history to repeat itself, then now it kind of made them now having to look for the next step moving forward. How are they going to do this? What are they going to do? If this is something that they saw in the foreseeable future in terms of a possible divorce, you know, a separation, was this something that they really wanted? The British, they wanted those that know about the protocol and about what it is that they try to uphold when it comes to the structure of things, right? Keeping up appearances, right? When it comes to that. And then when you have someone that is not happy in a marriage, it's like it's like, how can I say it? It's like, I think you guys know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say it. It's not permittable. It's not something that they want to happen, right? Even if there is unhappiness with the royals when it comes to their relationships and their marriage, they are trained or conditioned to still overlook it, to just deal with it and to move on. That is the thing when it comes to the royal family, when it comes to marriages. They need it to look like this perfect picture, right? This family structuring, especially if it's close to someone like Prince William that is on the verge of possibly taking over the crown. It is even more significant. So, hypothetically, with Princess of Wales potentially becoming the next queen, but the queen now is the potential queen, future queen, now is starting to complain, starting to speak about her unhappiness. And now, not only speaking upon it, but have been in the past year, she has also been affected mentally by everything that is going on with Prince William. For those that may or may not know, what is I mentioned in that other video that I did in the recently or a few months ago, that her unhappiness has a lot to do with Prince William in terms of his mistress, that of Rose Hanbury. So for those of you that may know or may not know, there was rumors, but there was some type of truth that he was in fact dealing with a mistress, that of Rose Hanbury. So again, it's kind of similar to that of what the late Princess of Diana went through when it came to Camilla. But aside from that, I just wanted to just bring in that it just seems like it's something similar. So if you're very familiar with the late Princess of Diana, how she was unhappy with Prince Charles because of that third party interference, that being Camilla. But moving ahead, when it comes to Princess of Wales, Princess Catherine, she too, like her late mother-in-law, have been unhappy because of what the rumors, maybe with her own sense of intuition, seeing things, being aware of what her husband was doing, right? Maybe having spoke to him about it, and still nothing have come out of it. But the point is that she had got to a point that it was really starting to bother her mentally. And it just continued to get worse, 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 and worse. So that was just a recap of where we are today and why is all of this happening, because it does have a lot to do with the mental state by which Princess Catherine has been in, which means that they need to, the monarchy, the firm, they need to find a resolution. But the resolution wasn't just something that they could probably fix long term. They needed a resolution that will keep her mouth shut, to keep her from spoiling the image that they have to hold by, if that makes sense, right? So, again, when it comes to that, with her being a nuisance and with her having complained about it, now it comes down to the part where The monarchy now have to plot to do away with her, but in a calculated timing. So her being removed had to be in a calculated time, if that makes sense, right? Nothing was done accidentally. Everything that they do is very much calculated, right? When the timing is right to do something. And with something like this, to unalive her, it needed to be strategically calculated. Okay? I hope you guys follow me so far, okay? And this plot, the plot of having already unalived her, which I truly feel that the Princess of Wales is no longer with us in the physical realm. Okay? I do not feel she is with us, no longer with us at this time. And so, if allegedly that is the case, then that plot of having done away with her, they would then need to cover that up with the ultimate demise. And that ultimate demise would lead to a fatality of some sort, death by an accident. This is where I'm beginning to come in with my intuitive aspect of what I feel now is happening. All right. As always, I write down my notes so that I can bring out key points here. So just bear with me. There's a sense of nervousness. So if I'm feeling like, if you see that I'm kind of like a bit it's just because as I continue to speak upon this, it is definitely affecting me because of the fact that I know she's no longer here. Okay, and I'm right now trying to hold back a sense of emotions right now as I continue forth with this. I feel I need to repeat what I just said because there's a sense that because she is unalived, allegedly, and I will get into how I feel and what took place and when possibly she may have become unalived. Okay, but there is a plot that they are scheming to create in terms of a more justifiable way of her dismissal from this world, if that makes sense. I repeat, the monarchy is in fact, allegedly, I believe, is plotting to cover up her actual death where it would look like it was a fatality. Okay? So the plot would need to be created from a darker sense of fatality so as not to look like her dismissal was that on their hands or on their time, if that makes sense. Like I said, in a moment, I am going to go into what I feel that would look like, allegedly, moving forward. Okay? Now, as I continue here with my notes, I'm going to give you, the viewers, a possible bird's eye view as to the actual fate of Princess Catherine, as I feel, like I said, that she is no longer with us here on the physical realm. With my clairvoyant awareness and with the assistance of my spirit guides, what I saw was very heart-wrenching. And since Princess Catherine's absence from January, I feel that, and I spoke upon this again in the reading that I performed for her last month, I felt at that point when I performed that reading, I felt she was still with us, very much so. I didn't feel that she wasn't. I felt she was with us. So I'm taking this back to sometime in February. Prior to that reading that I did for her, I felt she was still with us. But I remember saying for how long, because there was this sense that I felt that she was pretty much very close to being removed in some kind of way. So, I feel that she was kept in a private facility that was very heavily guarded, like a holding facility, while they were able to, the monarchy, the firm, was able to try to figure out strategically what and how they would unalive her. This was a case that this was a situation, as I mentioned moments ago, that this was a situation that they didn't want history to repeat itself. So they couldn't have her in a car, possibly, allegedly, and make it look like it was accidental. So there is a strong awareness that they really tried not to, surrounding the events or surrounding Princess Kate, to not make it look like history was repeating itself in any kind of way. But moving forward to the middle of last month, around February 12th, the 25th, surrounding those dates, or within those dates, I feel that she witnessed her fateful death, allegedly. Okay? I feel that she did. How? This is where things is going to get a bit of a doozy, because my clairvoyant ability made me see something that when I woke up to really tap in and ask Spirit, what is it I need to see, Spirit? Can you please connect me? Give me permission to connect with the spirit of Princess of Wales. What is her state? Is she still with us? And immediately, I saw something very dark. Okay? I feel she had been from that facility. I feel that she was transported or taken to a place like a dungeon, like a secret dungeon. It's what I keep seeing. It's like a dungeon type of style, type of environment that she was in. And it was a location that you can say either was something that nobody really is aware of, but it was a place where they could not easily find her. Okay? Now, in this place, in this dungeon, I feel that she was chained. Where you see in those kind of medieval type of movies or what have you, and you see, right before the killing or what have you, allegedly how they are chained. So I can see somehow visually that her hands is out and she's chained. And there was tape on her, but the tape was later removed from her mouth. However, though, it was a very dark place. And then something very dark is what I saw. Dressed in a very long black article of some sort. Head was covered like a black veil that came behind her. But before what was to come, this dark entity spoke to her to let her know why she had to be expelled. Now, when you think about the word expelled, yes, it means to force. It means to remove something or someone, right? By an official action, right? But in this sense, and when something is expelled, it does have a chance to come back. So sometimes being expelled it's a temporary action and it can be returned back. However, when it comes to the Princess of Wales, in her case, this entity said, because of her resistance, because of her being seen as a rebel in her own right, like that of her late mother-in-law, Princess Diana, we know Princess Diana was defiant. She stepped out on her own and she disassociated herself, if you will, from the monarchy and did her thing. And it was looking like that was what Princess of Wales was turning into, right? And so this was what the entity, this dark entity, told her, that because he was letting her know the reason that she needed to be expelled or dismissed. So an act of, if you will, expulsion, and you can look it up, an act of expulsion is a permanent exclusion or a permanent removal, no return back. This expulsion was in fact would be the last time that Princess of Wales would be alive. So doing this act was made to be permanent, which means she will not be coming back. Okay? This was something that needed to be done. At that point, Princess Catherine was allowed to utter her last words, because in fact it would be her last words, allegedly. Now, what may have been her last words, I'm hearing very clearly she's saying to this entity, burn in hell. Okay? Burn in hell was what I just felt like she said. And then upon that, she let out this big sigh, this cry. And that was at a moment her thinking about her children. Okay? At that time, this dark figure, this entity, proceeded. Give me a second. All right, everyone, I'm back. I'm sorry. I needed to turn off the camera to kind of reset and recalibrate, because I know what the next thing I was about to mention, and I just kind of got a little bit of emotional. That is, you can say, my clear sentient ability was taking the best of me at this time. I feel people's emotions. And again, I just want to stress that just because of what I'm feeling and sensing, it doesn't mean that this is 100% factual, right? But even if it's not this scenario, there is something still, I guarantee you, there is something still sinister that has happened to her, all right? Let me proceed to continue as to what I was about to say before turning off. Speaking about that dark entity, after she uttered the words to him, I feel as if at that point he went behind her and broke her neck. Allegedly, okay? Allegedly that he snapped her neck, he broke it. And allegedly, no doubt, I feel perhaps having picked up her lifeless body and temporarily disposing of it in the meantime, and kind of holding the body in what I feel like a crypt type of coffin. Okay? So, in fact, I feel that they are going to preserve the body so that after them trying to figure out when they are going to actually do a service for her or a funeral for her, allegedly, right? Then is when the real Catherine will be then removed from this coffin and put into the coffin for the service. This is what I am feeling and sensing. I also want to say that let's speak upon why did I say that? That they are holding the body and preserving the body. Okay? Because I feel that they are going to, some kind of way, have a service for her. But before that happens, they have to, as I mentioned, they would have to do what? They would have to plot yet a scenario, another situation by which they can create an accident that will look like it was something that was an accident, when in fact it was plotted all along. Okay? However, it won't be, of course, the real Princess Catherine. This will be the act, that of the clone. I did mention this as well. I think I mentioned or performed a reading speaking about, does Princess of Wales have a doppelganger or a clone? And I feel that in speaking about calculated timing, I feel they are still trying to perfect much as possible this clone. This clone is going to come in, make an appearance, maybe in the next few weeks, within the month, will make an appearance and will act as if she is Princess of Wales, and being with her children and being with Princess William. And somehow I feel that it's going to be where it's going to look like the family went skiing. Because another thing I picked up, key wording, key phrase, was skis. That came out to me so strongly. I don't know why, but skis came out. So I feel, is it where they're going to make it seem like the family went skiing somewhere? And if it's not the family, where maybe Princess Catherine went skiing with some friends, right? With this clone looking like her, and make it look like there was an accident, right? And this accident where she fell off the cliff, and then when the news come out and break that this accident has happened, that she couldn't be saved because behind the accident, it broke her neck. So, speaking about the possible scenario, allegedly, of what I felt, what has already happened, they are going to try to create a situation that will look as if her neck was broken, if that makes sense. And when you think about it, when you go skiing, that can definitely happen. You know, the slopes, whatever it is, it can definitely happen, right? That you can fall off and break your neck with other things. But I feel this could be possibly a scenario by which they're going to use to cover up. And then now it comes to the point where I feel that when this happens, right? When it comes and this news of a shock comes, because in some kind of way, even if it's not going to be skiing or skis that be the fatality of her, it's going to be some type of accident, right? And then the news will come out, breaking news, the Princess Catherine was involved in an accident. We don't know the situation, the status, but it doesn't look good. Almost kind of again, and I know I keep repeating it, but it just kind of reminds me of how it was when they broke the news about the late Princess Diana. It's going to kind of take on that same kind of connotation, that same type of energy, where they're going to come to the media and let the Britons know, right, the world know what has happened. And that will be the cover up. That will be the plot, allegedly, that they may create to make it look official. And so, as well, I feel the clone is something that they are using temporarily. Because when you think about it, if this happens, then they can't have this clone continuing to be around, right? They have to do away. So this clone is only for their purposes only, and it's only temporary as well. So then the next question would be that if she is officially taken out and she's having, services, then the next question is, well, what happened now? What will follow behind this? What are they plotting next when it comes to the status of the crown? What is going to happen? I will probably come back and follow up. I think I feel intuitive what I feel is going to basically happen with the monarchy, but I will probably at some point do a reading on that as well, the future of the monarchy. It's interesting. Before we get into the tarot, the tools, my tarot, I wanted to also say that it's crazy that all of this is happening after the Queen's passing. I strongly feel if the Queen Elizabeth II was still here, none of this would be happening. She wasn't per se my favorite royal, but one thing I will say, and especially, watching The Crown, right? That is on the Netflix, The Crown. They have 6 seasons there of The Crown. So I would highly, for those that maybe haven't watched it, it's very interesting. You get to see the inside. Now, it doesn't mean that everything on The Crown is 100% true, and some parts might be exaggerated, but it still gives you that bird's eye view in terms of her position and how she pretty much kept it in order. Okay, so there was a sense of order and respect that went along with Queen Elizabeth in trying to keep everything. And there was also something that is said. I believe she said this to Prince Charles at that time when he was Prince, in terms of people. You have to show yourself in order for people to believe your existence. Something to that matter. I was meant to kind of Google it to exactly get the precise phrasing of that, but I think you guys know there is something where she says, in order to kind of make the public know that you exist, you have to be seen. Something to that nature. And so this is what the whole attention and the mystery is continuing with Princes of Wales. It's because they have not been transparent with her. And so it has questioned, is she still here? Is she not? What it is. And again, going back to the Queen, I feel that if this was something where she was still with us, I feel this wouldn't have gone this far. There might have been other measures, but I don't think it would have gone to this extreme. So it looks like after her passing, they have, in so many ways, right? They have really, I think the Queen passed in 22. So it's been a year. And speaking of numbers, right? I want to talk upon some symbolic numbers when it comes to the tarot cards that came out pertaining to what is going on and what will be the future of all of this. Now, symbolically, the dismissal, the permanent expulsion of, allegedly, Princess Catherine, as I mentioned before, it was calculated, it was timing. The monarchy follows the moon cycles. One second. They follow the moon cycles. And for those that may not know, the moon phases is very powerful, right? Especially the full moon. It's very, very powerful. There is an energy that is amplified, especially during a full moon. But if you know by now, because I do bring these kind of readings onto my channel, you always is made aware of that the full moon phases bring a culmination. It's an ending. It's a getting rid of something, a person, place, or situation. That's what full moons do. They release. They let go, right? Something comes to an end so that as you are now shifting into the new moon, new things opens up, right? So with that being said, the symbolism behind the phases of the moon is very significant, okay? It's calculated. And so you can say, allegedly, that her demise was calculated, centered around the phasing of the moon cycles, which started 12 months back within this past year. The number 12 is very significant. 12 means that something in life has been completed. A cycle, a phase has been completed. But when you break down 12, we look at the number 1, it's linked to fresh starts, or something new is on the horizon. What is this new? The clone. She's in development. She's almost done, but she's still in development. They're trying to perfect this clone. 2 is that of duality and partnership. Partnership that they are trying to form and create for Prince William. So even though this clone will not be around forever, it's only permanent to pair with Prince William to keep up and continue the facade of them as a couple and them as a family. Now, when we look at the number itself, 12, it breaks down to 3. And 3 is resurrection and harmony. Past, present, future, birth, life, death, beginning, middle, and end. The moon completes 12 cycles of its phases. Do you see the connection here? So there is definitely some sense of a symbolic type of death that this has occurred, allegedly pertaining to Princess Catherine, all right? And remember, I mentioned that I felt that her demise happened somewhere in the middle of February. Somewhere, okay? And with that being said, it is opening up the pathway. It's opening up for this clone to take over temporarily, okay? Until they can now create that fatality, that accident. So it's something that they are working. They are trying to create the future impact, the future ending, right? The ending has already allegedly happened, but now it has to look official, all right? So with that being said, let us now go into the tarot, my tools, to kind of get more of an interpreted sense of analysis pertaining to this situation. And so I asked Spirit again, because that was what I picked up intuitively. And so in connecting with what the energies and the messages behind the cards, I asked Spirit again to confirm for me or to clarify, give me more insight. What is it that I need to know about the status of Princess of Wales, Spirit, and what will be the future? What is going on? The 2 cards that came out to represent the strongest energies was that of the 7 of Cups and the 8 of Swords. This 8 of Swords was what and how Princess Catherine was. 8 of Swords, if you know, it is a sense of entrapment. It's being closed into something. And during that time that I performed her reading a month ago, I felt that she was, in fact, trapped, enclosed, being held of her free will, right? Because she didn't want to be there, but I feel that she was restricted in some sort of way. So the fact that this is coming out is letting me know where she was. And then with the 7 of Cups, the 7 of Cups is moving forward. This is the monarchy. This is them having to decide, make a decision about her fate, making a decision moving forward about how they're going to create a scenario of a situation that will ultimately, so to speak, officially lead to her death, okay? But again, with those numbers, I was drawing to, if you look closely, you have here in this box, you have the number 444. 3 4s equals 12. So there is something significant about 12. I just expressed it when I gave you the breakdown about the moon cycles. So when it comes to them making any decision, it shows not only with the situation with Princess of Wales, but with anything pertaining to that, I feel it's calculated. It has to be very well thought of. It has to be strategic, right? It has to look substantial enough to appease the people, okay? If that makes sense. We have the Two of Pentacles, and we have the Eight of Swords again that has come out. These energies is giving you more clarity and insight about what it is happening from this Eight of Swords here. But it have come out again here along with the Two of Pentacles. Again, this is talking about a decision. Twos in tarot is a decision that has to be made, right? It's still in development. It's still needing to be worked out. It hasn't been figured out yet. They are juggling, trying to figure out, creating something, right? But the fact that this has come out, this Eight of Swords, this lets me know here is where she has allegedly met her fate. Because again, it shows that of not her free will, right? She was contained, but somewhere in the middle of February, I feel that she did witness her fate. And so with the Two of Pentacles, this is, again, needing to figure out, like that of the Seven of Cups, needing to make a choice, a decision about now moving forward with creating that fatality, right? Remember I mentioned that I felt that they will preserve her body so that they can actually put her body into the coffin, right? Now, it's understood, and I have read where the UK, when it comes to services and funerals, that they never open up the coffin. Like, it's not something that they do. That is not their thing, right? Unlike here in the US, they do have, caskets that are open where you can see. They don't do that in the UK. So you can say technically that will work out in their behalf, because then it won't be no questions, right, about that. But in speaking about the actual service or the preservation of her body, we have here the Four of Pentacles. I feel like they're going to hold on, that they are holding on to her body. They're not releasing it at this time, because it is, I feel, somewhere far away. You really look closely at this Four of Pentacles. This is just the energy that I feel that they are just holding on to her. But if you look in the back, it seems like it's somewhere, a place, a location where it's not easily found. It's almost like an off-the-grid kind of location until they need to retrieve her and to place her into the coffin, allegedly. Okay? Now, moving over to that Seven of Cups, we have here the Devil, Ace of Pentacles. This basically describes exactly what I am talking about. Now, by the way, the Devil is connected to the sign of Capricorn, and Princess Catherine is a Capricorn, right? But in another twist of things, the Devil is also that of trickery, manipulation, right? As we saw with the pictures of her, supposedly. So there's a lot of manipulation, trickery, dishonesty, right? The devil, a lot of underhanded, devilish activities that is going on at this time. And bringing in that clone is going to represent this Ace of Pentacles. The Ace in tarot is a breakthrough. It's a coming out. It's the new beginning. And I mentioned behind the symbolism of 3 that is about resurrection and harmony. And I mentioned that it also breaks down to that of partnership. So they are in fact preparing this clone. This could be a month away, a couple of weeks away, and sometime 2 months from now, they are preparing for this fake Princess Catherine to come out and to look as if, she is fully healed, that she is healed, and coming out with Prince William and the family. So they are going to try to trick, right, the people to thinking that she is okay now, and to trick them to think that they are family, right? But that won't be the case. So when you do see Princess Catherine, it will not be the real Princess of Catherine. I tell you that. That much I know. You will not see the real Princess Catherine. All right? It will be someone new, someone that will look like her, this clone, if you will, to keep up that appearance, to keep up this facade that they have been tricking the people for the past, I would say at least since the past 2 months, because the last time we actually saw her, I believe it was last year, the end of December 23. I think that was when we saw her last. But in this situation of her having this planned surgery and what have you, that I'm not 100%. But one thing I do know, I feel she was being seen for her mental issues because of what has been going on. I believe, and I mentioned that in that reading, she did have a mental breakdown, and it got worse. It wasn't something that she recovered from, right? I 100% know that if anything, that I feel is 100% that she had a mental breakdown. So severe that they couldn't see her. They saw her, like I said, they were able to see that she would not be in no position mentally, physically, emotionally to come back to the public and be this happy, future queen, if you will. So what is the resolution? What they needed to do was to create something, which I feel they had been doing anyhow. Nonetheless, I feel that they have been doing it. But even if they haven't per se started creating this clone, right? I feel that within the past 12 months, she was very expressive about her unhappiness with the marriage. And so it's almost like they kind of knew somehow, maybe they felt that this wasn't going to get any better. We need a solution in sight. Now, as we wind down, to clarify that of the devil and the Ace of Pentacles, what came out? Now we are looking at the future, the possible future. Remember when I spoke about the monarchy allegedly having to create some sort of fatality, an accident? What came out was the Tower. This is it. This is what the energy of the Tower is about. Unexpected. So what does that mean? That some kind of way they are going to, later on, in the next few months, they are going to come out, breaking news, unexpected, the Princess of Wales, Princess Catherine, has been in some sort of accident. And then we'll give the scenario of the accident, right? Something that unexpected. So they want to look like it was unexpected, something that wasn't planned. When technically, we know behind the scenes, it was something that they had to plot, right? With the help, the assistance of this clone, okay? So the Tower here is really showing what it's going to look like ahead. What are they allegedly trying to do at this point, okay? I, again, want to stress that this is what I feel and sense as of today, March 13th, 2024. Nothing is set in stone. Let that be understood. That this prediction and what it is that I feel and sense, it's not going to be 100%. But at the same time, I have to trust what it is that I feel and see at this time. Okay? And if it turns out that it's not the case, then it's okay, But I feel strongly about some of the things that I have spoke about. I really do. And so what is left to say is we have yet to really see truly how all of this unfolds. And as things begin to develop about this, then of course anything that I have mentioned happens to be this case, then of course I will be back to give an update. I will be back soon. Don't know exactly when. I will be back to bring some sort of clarity in terms of the state of the monarchy. You know, are they on the verge of a collapse? Will they still exist? Will they be around? I will try to prepare that type of reading. All right, everyone. So that is what I have. I'm not going to say if you enjoyed this reading, because by no means was it enjoyable. But if it kind of gave you a sense of clarity, if it kind of made you feel that it was something that may have happened or could have happened, then, you know, you could let me know in the comment section. Keep it respectful. And at this point, at the very end, the most that we can do is pray for her children, okay? Her children, she has 3 of them. And so I wanted to, off camera, I wanted to pull cards just to see what are they thinking? What is going on with them? And the cards I pulled, it shows that they are all, the hangman came out. They are confused. They don't know what's going on because they are being fed lies. I feel their father, Prince William, is letting them know, like they're still letting the kids know that mommy is resting, because I saw the 4 of Swords. That's the energy of rest, healing. So they are still trying to feed them that story that mommy is healing. You know, she needs to recover, but she will be back soon. So just be strong, pray for her, and mommy will be back, all right? And that is what I am feeling that they are telling them. I also feel that when it comes to this clone that's supposed to replace the real Catherine, I feel there's going to be a sense of limitation that they are going to have the kids be. Because kids, they know their mother. Kids are naturally intuitives themselves. They know their real mother, right? So this is why I feel like they are trying very hard to perfect her as much as possible so that the kids don't get any type of what's the word? That they don't get any type of suspicion surrounding this clone that's supposed to be their mother, right? But I feel, like I said, that they are being fed and being told, you know, be strong for mommy. Mommy is, you know, and that they're going to also try to keep them from the press or keep them from the media, so to speak. But again, I feel that they're going to limit them being next to this clone as well, you know, so that they don't get no suspicions, if that makes sense. But that as far as where I'm going to go as far as the children. But again, let's pray for them at this time. And guys, like I said, this is what I have. We just got to see really how everything turns out. We got to definitely we got to see how the cards actually play out at this point. All right, until the next video, I'm wishing all of you a wonderful Wednesday. Thank you for watching. Peace, love, and light. Bye.